Morning traders, welcome to this live currency strength indicator table video with me, John. This one's going to be the last one for this month. I am going away next week, so I won't be updating anything next week. Back with a video on Monday, the 2nd of October. So that's when I'm going to be back. So no videos from the 25th to the 29th, but I'll be back on the 2nd of October. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean you can't come onto the website and see all these updates. You can just come over to your Pro Services tab, go to your Live 365 Forex Strength tables, and come and see the tables at 9 AM every morning. And you can see that we've still got pound Kiwi there. We've still got pound CAD, pound dollar. So pound weakness remained. We actually saw yesterday, if I just go over to our live economic calendar, you can see here, if I just bring in what happened yesterday, that the Bank of England interest rate decision, they held rates at 5.25% instead of hiking to 5.5%, and that was a little bit of a shock to the market. Obviously forecast thinking that we were going to get that move. Had a similar with the Swiss National Bank, and that's what's helped our CAD Swiss trade, which we explained in yesterday's video. So today there's some more data. We've had some PMI data out of Europe. We've got some more PMI coming up out of pound very shortly. So depending on how that comes out, will that pound weakness continue? We've also then got some dollar data with services PMI at 2:45 PM. Now, looking at the tables at the moment, you can see pound is a weak currency. We'll see how that data drops in about 15 minutes. But yeah, very interesting market. I mean, I did like the setup on pound Kiwi yesterday, but because of that high impact data, I stayed out of the market, and it looks like it wouldn't have even mattered, to be honest. So the setup came here. This was the setup. I was looking to see price come back into those highs there, reject, and then trade back to the downside here. And you can see on this particular candle at 9 AM, if I just actually move that out of the way now, there's this kind of small doji candlestick. If I just zoom right in, you can see that small doji candlestick after quite an aggressive close below the 50 MA. The stochastic turned bearish as well. So there was all these kind of good things going on there, and that's what I was kind of looking for. I was looking to maybe get short in and around that area. Stop loss could have been very tight above the highs. I would have probably took first targets here at 2.07 if I was going to enter it on that high impact data. Obviously, if I did hold it then or move stops to break even before the event, we would have still been fine, and price would have been about 2.4R, but that's hindsight, and obviously hindsight is a wonderful thing. Now, pound Kiwi is remaining on the table, so it doesn't mean that we can't look for further downside on pound Kiwi. In fact, it's quite an interesting market considering the fact that we've broken down through these sort of levels here. So you can see this kind of range that developed back between the 28th of June and the 2nd of August of this year, and price then traded outside of that. Price has now come back within it, so it's quite interesting to see that we've failed to see any kind of buy momentum from this level. Now, that to me means that we might see some further downside. I've got the level here. If I just actually punch that in, that's 2.05. So a nice level of support coming through there. Obviously, remember, these are more like zones, right? Not always going to come down to the pip and hit that level, but you can see there's lots of interaction around that point. The other key level of interest is just below that. If I just take that off, let's just clone this other one here to make it a little bit more visual for you. It's just slightly below that level, and you can see it's around about the 2.087. I want to go to, let's just put to 90 there, and you can see that was obviously key resistance in here back in the 27th of April, and then it was support a couple of times on the 6th of June and the 14th of June. So price might be targeting that. Now, on the bigger picture for pound Kiwi, we're actually breaking through this, or breaking down through this trend line support. So if we get a strong weekly close outside of that area, we could see some further downside to this market, and this is going to be definitely one to watch going into next week, especially if we do get that strong close. Look at the stochastic as well at this current moment in time. You can see that if we get maybe that close outside of the trend line support, and we've got this bearish stochastic, then maybe that could influence warrants a little bit of further downside as well. So I do quite like the idea of being pound Kiwi short. On the short term side of things, if I was looking for shorts, where am I looking for shorts in? Well, you can see we've kind of got this build up here where we had that secondary phase. We're now back into a primary phase here. So maybe from a secondary phase point of view, can we get back into that zone and then see further downside from that point back into those levels? We may obviously test these levels first. I wouldn't be surprised if we did that, came down into that level, pull back. Maybe won't get such a strong pullback at that point. Oh, there's an extra arrow there, sorry. So yeah, quite like the idea of potentially looking at that. Let's go back to our tables then. So pound CAD obviously as well, a nice market to look at. This is subject to the PMIs coming up, so do be aware that I'm talking about this a little bit ahead of a key event again. But everything's kind of pointing south for the pound at the moment. I think the bigger play here really is the fact that they've paused interest rates, and Governor Bailey talked about the potential for rates to be at its peak. So what that says to the market essentially is that there's no more rate hikes potentially to come, and that there is a potential for even to kind of bring rates lower. So whether that is going to happen or not, that's a different question, because that's just, you know, what we think may happen. Facts are pound is weak, and we should be looking to potentially take advantage of that. So pound CAD also breaking down. Unfortunately, we haven't really been able to catch this move. You can see how far away it is. Even if we go to the hourly chart, you can see we haven't really tested the 50 all the way down. We tested the 50 on the 13th of September, but there's no test since. We came very close here on the 21st, or yesterday, but since we haven't really tested that. So I wouldn't mind seeing a test of the hourly 50 at some point, maybe just a pullback in 66. 166 is a decent level through here. We had 166.25 punched in, but you can see how price reacted to that whole number there before breaking down. So maybe something around there would be ideal. Going on to the other charts of interest then. So we actually looked at Kiwi Swiss long yesterday, and price missed my alert by about 2 pips, and I was watching it on a 15-minute time frame, and we got very, very close to our alert, which I've got in as 0 spot 53.41, so it was a little bit ahead of the alert that I actually posted. And I was just watching it to see here. Now, when I started to see this pullback there, I was very interested to see price come all the way back down to our alert and then look for the move to the upside. So at this point, I was just waiting for the alert to happen. It didn't happen, and then as we were getting sort of later in the day, it just had a very slow breakout. This is why I didn't really get involved with it. Look at the sort of candlesticks on this 15-minute time frame. On an hourly, it looked okay, but they're very shallow candlesticks. And in fact, I saw price come up and form a rejection here before I kind of left the charts. And in theory, I thought this has a chance to even come back down, test this level here before seeing a continuation press to the upside there. And yeah, we just didn't get that kind of pullback that I was looking for. So unfortunately for us, we've missed that, and price has continued to push higher. But if you did manage to catch it, well done. 0 spot 54, the targets, which was around these highs here that formed back on the 1st of August. So that's also something to consider going forward. I do like pound downside. Now, CAD Swiss has hit full targets. If you did hold this for longer than I did, and you went for the 1 spot 5, 1 spot 6 targets, then you would have profited that. Obviously, I got out just here as price came into that level there. I was happy with the profits at that point. It was the daily chart level of resistance, so I didn't want to really push my luck, and it looked like I was right for a good while, because it retraced quite aggressively back to this trend line support. We did have stops at break even anyway, but yeah, that would have been a test of the mind there, psychologically, seeing you so close to target. I think, what was that, like 2 pips away from target? So seeing price go to 2 pips away from target and then pull all the way back down to being sort of, 8 pips in profit, that would have tested you emotionally. So if you did sit through that, then well done. And then obviously price has hit targets today. So yeah, we had a bit of a okay week by the end of it. Obviously we could have caught a couple more moves. There was a lot of high impact data this week though, so I didn't really want to put too much risk on around those key events, and it turned out that we still got a good couple of moves anyway. But thanks for watching the content this week. I hope you have a great week next week as well. Remember, I won't be here next week, so I'll start videos again on Monday the 2nd of October. Thanks guys, have a great week.